Hey there guys, this is Jordan in the Know, and on this channel I try and showcase a large variety of tech that my audience is interested in, to tech that I personally interest, and to just straight up cool and unique tech. So what I have here is definitely in the cool and unique category, and this is the Nokia Lumia 520. There's actually a lot to say about this phone, and I'm going to start with the fact that this is my first ever Windows Phone experience. I'll give you my opinions on that in a minute. But what I want to do is take a look at the hardware, and keep in mind that you can purchase one for yourself for around $50. So, as far as I can tell, the 520 has a simple and clean design. It follows the tradition of all Windows phones with capacitive keys and having all your hardware buttons on the right side, which are pretty accessible because of that 4-inch display, making the 520 very pocketable and easy to handle in one hand. The back is removable, and Nokia's engineering team did something really intelligent here and made the entire back removable along with the sides, and I like this design choice. It keeps the phone feeling unibody and at the same time making it easy to access the battery and microSD. At the same time, the OnePlus One did the same exact thing, and I think it's just a good choice. Because if you ever drop your phone, you can always get a new one and put the back plate on and keep your phone looking nice and crispy. Overall, performance wasn't that bad. This phone flies through the OS and can handle some heavy gaming. But it did get a little hot while playing Asphalt 8. The graphics power on the 520 is okay. There are a few downsides of this phone. The Adreno 305 definitely shows its age compared to the 330 and the Note 3, and you end up missing a lot of detail and texture in some of these heavy games. You lose a lot of lighting and shadows, and the reflections off the car completely disappear on the 520. And you're going to get some pixelation too. But that's pretty much to the 233 pixels per inch display. This phone does sport some very basic specs. A 1430 mAh battery, which is pretty weak, and will just last you a little bit under a day with moderate use, web browsing, playing games, etc. It also has a 5-megapixel camera. It shoots pretty crisp photos for what it's worth, and if you didn't know better, you would think that it had optical image stabilization. But it doesn't. But it definitely performs like it does. And just a side note, call quality was pretty bad in my opinion. While other people could hear me fine, wherever I was, no matter if I had 4G or 4 bars, it still just had a bad quality. It was very noisy and it was very grainy. And for some reason, the glass was more grungy and fingerprint prone than some of the other phones I've used, which made it feel a little cheap. And speaking of cheap, there is something that I want to show you guys. So here is the Samsung Galaxy S. Sold to consumers in 2010, this phone came equipped with a 1 GHz dual-core processor. The GPU was a PowerVR SGX 540, very old, and it came with a ½ gig of RAM, and it could be upgraded as high as Android 2.3 Gingerbread. Now, let's take a look at the 520. This came shipped with a 1 GHz dual-core Snapdragon processor, Adreno 305 GPU, and also came with a ½ gig of RAM as well. And it's running Windows Phone 8. So from this perspective, specs do look pretty bad. 1 GHz dual-core, ½ gig of RAM, but if you ask Samsung Galaxy S users how well their phones were running, you wouldn't get such a great response. So let's talk about Windows Phone OS. Now, being a first-time Windows user, I was actually very surprised at what it could do. And I will say immediately that performance was very quick and very snappy. And it turns out that Windows Phone is actually a really light OS, and it leaves zero traces of the slow and ugly-looking Windows 8.5. But I said it before, and I will definitely say it again, this is very light and snappy. Opening applications open just as fast as my Note 3 did, giving you some sweet-looking animations that are so visually appealing. Looking at Windows Phone 8, it's very pretty too. Live tiles are useful whenever they decide to show up, and notifications are perfectly placed inside the live tiles, which are way more useful than the badges that we see in Android and iOS, and this perfectly complements Windows Phone and live tiles perfectly. You can structure the live tiles to your size and your likings, giving you pretty visuals like photo previews as well. Stock applications are well designed, and the overall OS is very dominant in text, but overall, it's a nice look. And one thing with Windows Phone that always seemed to be an issue was the App Store, and the simple fact that there was never a large variety of apps. But this time around, things are a little different, and things have gotten better. Not completely fixed, but they're getting better. Apps like Instagram and more popular games like Don't Tap the White Tile, 2048 Plus, and some Disney titles can be found, and it is getting better. There are some apps you just won't find though, like Google Chrome or any Google app for that matter. Any Google services that you do find, they're more than likely written in HTML5 format, which is basically a mobile version of your web browser. But this Nokia Lumia 520 isn't just a normal one. There's actually a secret to this one, and you might not have even been able to tell throughout the video. But this phone actually is running 8.1 developer beta, and that means a few things for you guys. One, apps are going to be more abundant due to its new app infrastructure, and two, Windows Phone 8.1 is going to bring more of an incentive to try it out, due to its quick notifications and its all-new Cortana, which performs really, really nice. So guys, thanks for watching, and I really want to thank you guys for tuning in to my first Windows 8 experience. Actually, the only problem that I really had with this phone, besides what I stated in the review, was how small this screen is. It's just a little too small for me to enjoy it, just because I'm so used to my Note 3. But I ordered a new one and it just came in the mail. This is the Nokia Lumia 925, so expect a review of this later. But anyway, this has been Jordan in the Know. Thank you for watching this video, and if you have any questions, even if you're not subscribed, please be sure to just comment them anyway, because I really enjoy answering people's questions. But anyways, this has been Jordan in the Know, and thank you for watching.